Is this what we've come to? A judge being arrested by the FBI?
The government's arresting judges now. Let me say that again. The DOJ is actively attacking judges. If the warning flags were not going off prior to this, I hope this finally makes it click and you see the warning signs.
Throughout his presidency, Donald Trump has continued to push the boundaries with his immigration policy and has been met with some legal pushback from federal judges and even the U.S. Supreme Court. But this morning, there is scrutiny on one New Mexico judge who had been serving since 2011, has just resigned following allegations he's been allowing a member of the gang Tren de Aragua to live with him and handle guns in his house.
Hey yo, what's goody family? Thank you for checking out another episode. I am your host, Wavy. You see the shirt? You see the hat? All right, it's summertime vibes out here. Finally getting some good temperatures outside. Spring starting to finally look like spring. Anyway, let's kick this story over to New Mexico, where we have an ex-judge who was arrested, him and his wife, for allegedly illegally harboring one of these travelers.
There are laws on the books that make it a criminal offense to shield or harbor illegal immigrants, like the sanctuary states that you leaders have been doing. Do you think they should be prosecuted the full extent of law and possibly put in prison?
Absolutely.
And I say ex-judge because a few weeks ago in March, when his home was raided, they came across an alleged TDA gang member, and upon this revelation, the judge resigned. Both Judge Joel Cano and his wife Nancy Cano were arrested, man. It gets so messy, they even had the daughter tied up in all of this, and we gonna get to all of that. Make sure you tap the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know whatever you're thinking in the comment section. Let's roll it.
At first glance, the videos and photos tell a story of a family that loved guns, but who they shared those guns and their home with came as a shock to local authorities. The homeowner, Joel Cano, a Democratic judge in Doña Ana County, New Mexico, who resigned last month following a raid on his home, in which Cristhian Ortega-Lopez was arrested, charged with being in the country illegally and possessing a firearm.
This judge's daughter is allowing this illegal alien to have access to firearms, which is unlawful under 18 U.S.C. 922G. It is a felony for this illegal alien to be in possession of firearms.
Do you think that judge would allow you or myself or any U.S. citizen to possess a gun illegally? No. All right, they got politicians working overtime, judges working overtime to make sure that they disarm the American law-abiding citizens. As far as criminals, they don't care. Criminals could have switches, and they don't care. They'll let you off because they almost expect that from a criminal. But when it comes to citizens, they do everything they can to impede people's ability to practice their Second Amendment. But here you have a judge enabling these immigrants that are in the country unlawfully to not only possess, but to fire these firearms. And I'll take it a step further. I'm willing to bet that this judge has come across people in his courtroom that were felons caught in possession of firearms that he convicted. And that's why I don't have a problem with what Trump is doing to these judges, because these judges are forcing him to, they're forcing his hand. This judge, the judge in Milwaukee, is it? Then you have the other judge that is demanding flights be turned around mid-air to bring illegals back into the country. They're doing everything they can to force this man's hand. And then they're going to turn around and cry the victim and say Trump is a dictator and he's doing things that should not have been done. No, these judges are tyrants. Who are they to tell the executive branch what it is they should or should not be doing?
Court documents reveal he entered the country unlawfully in December 2023.
Under
and
Biden.
A few months later had been hired by the judge's wife, Nancy, who later offered him a place to stay in her residence that she shared with her husband.
You know, this sounds eerily familiar to a story I covered. I think it was out in New Jersey, where there was another elected official harboring an illegal migrant.
I don't want to get into too much detail, but there's someone in our broader universe whose immigration status is not yet at the point that they are trying to get it to. And we said, you know what, let's have her live at our house above our garage. And good luck to the feds coming in to try to get her.
Why is it that these people are always, quote unquote, doing housework, renovations, etc.? Is it because they're being exploited by these people, allegedly, for cheaper labor? Are they being exploited in other ways? Because ever since that southern border was open, now thank God it's closed, but when it was open, human trafficking through the roof, sex trafficking through the roof. They still have over 325,000 children just disappeared. They don't know where they are. Many, I believe, are no longer with us, and the ones who are suffering and being tortured. But why is it that they always end up with these people in their house under the guise of being hired? I'm just asking.
Residence that she shared with her husband. But most shocking, Homeland Security officials say Ortega-Lopez displayed clear indicators of his association with the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, or TDA. Not just his clothing or tattoos, but voicemails and text messages, they say, provide significant evidence for their case against him. One reason they asked that he remain behind bars.
Doña County has been a hotbed of illegal immigration and drug trafficking, human smuggling for many, many years. And to see that a judge would allow this to happen, it's very concerning. It's concerning, what else has this judge been doing?
Definitely. I would want to ask the same thing. If you're saying that the county that he presided over is a hot spot for this type of activity, and here he is, caught red-handed during a raid, got a gang member who's also an undocumented traveler. Here is U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi giving her statement on the situation.
I mean, when you look at the associations with this violent Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, and this person that they harbored in their home, he was showing signs through clothing, we were told, tattoos. There was evidence through voice messages and text messages of his association to TDA. So what charges will Cano and his wife face, if any?
So Judge Cano, soon to be former Judge Cano, got his charges were just unsealed. He's charged with obstruction. He admitted post Miranda. He took one of the TDA members' cell phones himself, took it, beat it with a hammer, destroyed it, and then walked the pieces to a city dumpster to dispose of it to protect him.
Wait, hold on. So much to say here. Pam Bondi came out there spitting. Soon to be former Judge Cano. And I hope that they're serious, because if a regular person does something against the law, we are held to the fullest extent. And I'm tired of seeing this two-tier justice system. Rules for thee, but not for me. And when she talks about after he was Mirandized, he took at least one person's cell phone, smashed it with a hammer, and disposed of it. I don't know. I was still young when the allegations were flying, but haven't we heard about a politician smashing up some sort of electronics and disposing of them to get rid of the evidence? Allegedly.
Wife also is charged with destroying evidence. Sandra, not only that, this TDA member, and he had on a necklace that said kill, something about death. He had tattoos all over him. He also had on his cell phone pictures of two decapitated victims. Two victims decapitated, gruesome photos.
These are the people in our country. These are the people that Democrats are flying over to El Salvador to come back to our country. These are the people that they want the plane headed to El Salvador to lock them up in the prison, to turn around and bring them back to America to go through, quote unquote, due process. I don't know how you have due process in a country you're not even a citizen of. They talking about due process for the other one, Kilmar Abrego, whatever his name is.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
The MS-13 member. from El Salvador, whose president wants him back in El Salvador. He is a citizen of El Salvador. And you have American politicians flying there that he needs due process, pretty much saying to hell with what his president of the country that he has citizenship to wants. You know, it's America and what they want. Yo, these people are sick, man. This judge is damn lucky him, his wife, and his daughter didn't end up as heads number 3, 4, and 5.
The judge and his wife gave him assault rifles that belonged to their daughter. That's what they're charged with. In the criminal report affidavit, he goes to a shooting range with these assault rifles, with a suppressor, with other known TDA members, and they're shooting.
But you got places like California and New York and all these other blue states that restrict American citizens from practicing their Second Amendment. You have a judge giving the okay to someone in the country illegally to have those firearms, and then he's giving them his daughter. Yo, what the hell is going on, bruh? What is really going on? These politicians go hard. I'm not saying necessarily New Mexico. I'm not saying necessarily him. I don't know his stances. But I know you have these places like Colorado, like Massachusetts, that go hard, Washington and Oregon, to try to disarm the people. And here you have a judge just giving not only this TDA gang member, also other members of the Tres Leches gang. Everybody get a gun like some Oprah shit.
This is the last person that we want in our country, nor will we ever tolerate a judge or anyone else harboring them.
That's cool and all, Pam, but we need to see some convictions, and we need to see some convictions that are equivalent to the crime. We don't want to see them getting charged to a lesser crime or them pleading to a lesser crime or something like that. Come on, we need to keep it all in perspective, and the conviction needs to carry the weight of what they're doing. They need to start making statements. All right, and who cares what the left mainstream media cries and babbles on about? Look at their ratings. Nobody's watching them. Nobody cares. The real and logical Americans will see and understand what's going on. All right, we see that they're trying to block President Trump from carrying out what he was voted to do. All right, he was voted to start this deportation effort after 4 years of the floodgates being left open by Joe Biden and whoever else was running this country, because we all know at this point, Dementia Joe was not doing much. This photo is AI, but it reminds me so much of Nancy Pelosi's husband when he had somebody come through allegedly and attack him at his house. And when he answered the door, he was dressed similarly to Judge Cano. What do you think about this judge and his wife harboring somebody who they felt needed protecting? All right, he came in, did an honest job, and they said, you know what, with these deportation efforts taking place by the Trump administration, they're going to do all they can to protect this guy and whoever else they can. They probably told him ways to avoid the police and avoid ICE from detaining him. They told him to spread the word. This is a judge. Okay, and all this is alleged. He's given him permission to stay at his house. These are angels. And anybody seeing them as less and thinking that they should go to prison or be charged, you're crazy. Okay, we need more people doing this to protect these people that are fleeing persecution in their country to come here to get a better life. And that's all this judge wanted to do. Him and his wife and his daughter are telling these illegals not only how to stay away from ICE, but showing them how to protect themselves with firearms, allowing them to go to the ranges. And why wouldn't they? They're as good as American citizens as any other American citizen. Or do these people make you sick? Here you have a judge, somebody that you would think has been appointed to uphold the laws and Constitution, and he's doing, along with many other judges around the country right now, doing all they can to undermine Trump and what this administration is trying to do. Americans said they don't want to be footing the bill for these people that did not come here the proper way. These radical judges are tyrants. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of living in this type of judicial system where constantly, all right, these elites get to do whatever they want and get slapped on the wrist for things that regular people would have to serve serious time in federal prison for. Nonetheless, this is a judge. Are you telling me that this is how he ran his courtroom? That people that were known gang members, known possible killers, known violent people would just be allowed to walk out? Maybe this is what had to be done. Maybe they had to start getting rid of some of these rogue and extreme judges, and they're just giving them the rope to hang themselves. Either way, I'm interested to know whatever you're thinking in the comments section. Till the next video, please be safe and stay wavy.
Repetition is the father of learning.